Hi, Quinn Riley. How the hell are you?
I am doing well, J.J. Arias. I'm a little sick, so apologies in advance, but we're hanging in there.
We're
Also,
still yapping.
we're still yapping. We might be yapping and coughing and hacking and sneezing, but
All the ins.
all the but the yapping is still happening.
Yeah.
And it had to happen because we have this incredible crew with us
Can you
today.
believe it? Can you believe they agreed? I
I
can't.
actually can't. They subscribe and they still said yes to our buffoonery. Our buffoonery, our romper room buffoonery. But if you do not know, I will introduce you. So I'm going to introduce in the order that you all are on my screen. So we have up first Jamie Rose, who is a beloved figure in the Sapphic community. If you missed the Goldies, go watch them now. But she was one of our MCs. And she's also, am I allowed to talk about your writing? Okay. Also, just wrote her debut, which published this year. So we're so thrilled to have her here and one of the brilliant minds behind ReadOUT. Next, we have Megan Lee, who is also a brilliant author, advocate, activist. Again, another beloved figure in our Sapphic community. Accomplished published author and planner behind ReadOUT. So we're thrilled to have her here. And last, and certainly not least, and the coolest of all of
The
us, the
coolest.
coolest is Kelsey Ray. Sorry, I turned into a football fan. I was like, this is my Super Bowl. Um, so we have Kelsey Ray with us. Again, an instrumental part of the Sapphic book community. Gives so much of herself as a reviewer, as a reader, as an ARC reader. Is instrumental in planning ReadOut as well. You all may know her in the internet space as Odd Girls Media, and so she's like in Sharon, shining her light on really, really important work that our authors are doing. So we're thrilled to have you all here. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about this magical festival that you have planned and put so much time and love and intention into. So thanks for being with us tonight.
So we'll be yapping with you guys about first reader events kind of at large. So if, and we'll talk a little about what readout is specifically, but I kind of reader events, especially this year, or I should say bookish events, Sapphic specifically, have become so critical. Like to me specifically, like I don't know what I would do without being able to share in that space. And so I wanted, if it was okay, for everybody to share. And oh, you know who I should put on the spot first? Jeremy. Your first or favorite, and it might be the same, um, ex- reader event experience that you had, preferably as an attendee, but it could be your first experience was as a guest. So we'll go Jer, Jamie, Megan, Kelsey, and then me. Sounds good?
As attendee, as an
As
attendee.
anything, whatever the first thing that came to your mind, your first or favorite.
Well, okay, I'm going to give it twofold, but I promise I won't take too much time. My first event that I attended as just an attendee and not a panelist was actually GCLS. Let's see, it was Denver. That was my first year. And so I I loved it. I loved my experience, even though I was very nervous to go on my own. I didn't at that time, like, I think Abby Creighton and Stephanie and Emma Parker were the only 2 narrators going, so I literally knew no one. They showed up later than me, but the board was really welcoming and loving and, made me feel super comfortable. But most people didn't. I was still new in the game, so most people didn't know who I was, or that I was a narrator, so I got to kinda, like, fly under the radar and panels, which was really cool. So much so that, like, I danced like I do, and you all know how I dance
We love your
now,
dancing.
that I was, like, sweaty on the dance floor, and someone was like, "Wait, you're Quinn Riley? You died in the same made." And I was like, "My cover is blown, everyone, I must leave now." And also I look like this. So that was my first reader event, like, really, truly as, like, an attendee. My favorite is ReadOut 2024. But I was both an attendee, but also, had a couple of panels, but that was my favorite. I still think about my experience now. I think about it a lot. I hold on to those memories that I made there with all of you. They keep my spirit up, and then I look forward to being back with you all, and that's where JJ and I got super close as well. That kind of forged our friendship in real life. So it was yeah, it's really special.
And what you mean is Macon dragging everyone to the wine house after the
No, it
panel.
was I mean,
Hey,
it was from everything. It was
nobody gets left behind. It's the
no,
number one rule.
no, it was the wine, but it was also just the programming too. I mean,
It really was.
I still think about, the panel with trans voices, trans and BIPOC authors. I still think about the deep and profound discussions about, like, making queer art in a red state. So much of the programming that you all do and the guests that you get and the speakers that you get are just so resonant and profound, and I it's my some of my favorite programming I've ever experienced. So, bravi tutti to you all for making that happen. But yeah, I mean, yes, and then also just the social aspect of it is really magical, but even just from programming alone, it's really remarkable what you all do.
Ditto, absolutely. I feel like Jamie's gonna say something totally different. She hates ReadOut.
Yeah, hate that thing. Um, so my first reader event experience was ReadOut. It was ReadOut 2024, I believe. And
I
I'd
think it
only
was
been reading
23.
23. It's been two readouts. So I think
24.
24.
She's right.
Yeah, it's
24?
24. Yeah.
24. Okay. Oh, it's 26. Math is so
Make
hard.
it I did the same
Calendars are
thing.
the
I was like,
dumbest.
I think you
hmm
mean
No,
20.
I do the same thing. Like,
We're planning next year's, guys.
Hey, 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 hey. This is a shame-free zone. I don't know what we think we're doing.
to be fair, the entire time Quinn was talking, I was listening, but also going, it was 24, right? Yeah, it's 24, right? Yeah, like, yeah, yeah. So, like, yeah, it's good.
Listen to
That's
me,
good.
I'm just a fool.
No, it's all good. I mean, you are, but it's cool.
Those are my hard
So
eyes for
yeah,
you, Jeremy.
so yeah, my first one was ReadOut 2024, and I'd only found like indie Sapphic lit, um, maybe like a few months before through Macon's podcast, and really got into that. And when Macon said she was going to read, I was like, awesome, cool, I'll go. It was only like 2.5 hours from where I live, so I drove down for one day, and it was just I knew no one but like Macon and Lauren Eve, and afterwards, I came away knowing, having met JJ, having met Kelsey, and meeting so many other people, that I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to come to all of these now. Like, I'm going to every single event I can come to. For my favorite, I would have to say, ReadOut this past year was amazing. I think just because of recency, I think GCLS this past summer was amazing because it was like, it felt like in a way that I had arrived, like I had my own little group to hang out with the entire time. Everyone asking if I'm ready to host the award show wasn't the best. Like that was getting kind of I was already nervous, stop asking, but it was still a great time. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
And you were like, "So I'm sorry, everyone, I was born ready," and then you brought the house down with your closing speech, which, like,
You
I
killed it.
will forever be burned in my brain as I don't a call to action and also just a bringing in. It was so inspiring, Jamie, and really, really, I mean, left me in awe of you and your, I mean, just your courage and resilience, but then also it was a remarkable, like, calling in to everyone. I think you
Mhm.
changed so many people's minds because I know so many people were like, "Yeah, I'm not going to Florida, like, no interest in that, don't wanna," and you lit that entire room on fire.
I mean, it just to talk about it a little bit, it honestly came from several, like basically what I said was what I had said in several conversations, because a lot of people know I'm from Florida, and it was a lot of people going like, "Well, how do you feel about this?" And eventually I was like, "Okay, cool. I need to say something." And to be honest, I don't remember what exactly I said. Like I kind of was like a blackout moment, and I still haven't watched it yet. So like I don't yeah.
You should. It
So
You
was really
should.
good.
It was
the
really and I would never have ever thought that that was just completely off the cuff. I mean, it was so really grounded and rooted and just so articulate. And I mean, speaking from your soul, it was really, really profound. So yeah,
Thank you.
everyone that asked
Thank
if
you.
you were ready, you're like,
You
hold
said,
my
"Hold
beer.
my beer."
See, this is why
Quite literally, you said that exact sentence to me, and I
Mm-hmm,
did, and it was an honor.
mm-hmm,
He said, "Yes, ma'am."
You did a
mm-hmm.
great job holding
Indeed.
it. I'm proud.
Didn't even drink it. It was tempting, but I stopped myself.
Macon, will you share with us?
So my first event as an author was ReadOUT the first year Jamie came. But my first reading event ever, and maybe probably my favorite just because it like completely changed the trajectory of my life. My junior year, I was on a very bad basketball team, and we were so bad. And our coach had historically coached very good basketball teams. And one day he came in and he was like, I'm reading this book. It's by this guy named Pat Conroy. It's called My Losing Season. And you should read this book. And it had like just came out that day. And I was like, oh, that is a middle-aged man having a crisis. But I've never turned a book recommendation down in my life. So I went and I read it, and it was incredible. It was incredible on every level. And it was the first time I had read a Southern writer writing about the South in a way that made me excited to be a person who loved books in the South. And it was just kind of like one of those kismet line up things that he happened to be doing on his book tour. And so I went and saw him with Ann Patchett in conversation.
Who
And
was
it
that?
was, when I say life changing, like I walked into that room someone who loved books, and I left that room someone who is a writer.
I love
Wow,
that.
that's
Um,
amazing.
and it was just like so rad to hear two proudly Southern, brilliant people being proudly Southern and proudly brilliant and talking about this thing that I love. Because I grew up in such a conservative fundamentalist place where like art was not only not appreciated, it was kind of shit on, right? It was like not important. You take English class because you have to, but like we didn't get to get passionate about books. It was very scientific. And so it was just like it opened my world. And I think that's like a brilliant and beautiful thing that book events do outside of is like create community, and then they open up people's worlds, not just about the story, but about there's an entire universe of people who love this stuff as much as you do.
Yeah.
But that was like my first moment of being like, oh, okay. And I was just like this like 17-year-old kid with just this beat to hell hardback. And yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome. I love that, and those are those moments that you can't predict, right? You have no idea what book at the exact right time, a little earlier, a little later, wouldn't necessarily have that impact. I mean, it just finds you at the exact moment, just gets you right by the throat. I love
And then
I
I read
love
The Prince of
moments like that.
Tides.
Yeah. Oh, well,
And then I
anyway.
was like, well, that book fucked me up in a good way. The first sentence of that book is one of the most beautiful sentences in literature, and I will fight people on it.
Do you know it by heart?
I do, but I'm not going to say it because if I get it wrong, I will feel both bad about myself, and then prove myself a liar. And I have very little interest in doing that.
Yep, fair. Yeah, good thing Kelsey's gonna tell us about her
Yeah,
first
let's let
and or
Kelsey.
favorite reader
Right.
experience event.
So I could say read out, but I'm not going to because I feel like at this point it's a cheat code. So my first like reader event when I lived in New York City, so this would be like 12 years ago, I went to the original BookCon at the Javits Center, which is
Yeah.
where they have like New York City Comic Con. It's
Yes.
massive.
We used to do
Huge.
that.
Yes, it's so big. And I was part of a book club called the Girl Geek Adventure Club in New York City. And we all went together. And it was the most insane thing for anyone who's ever been to like a Comic-Con to then go to an event of that size that's just all books is wild. Like some people were dressed up as characters still. You got so many free books, all that kind of stuff. but like everything else, it definitely was missing the level of queer that a lot of people in that group would have wanted. I think so. I know that there's another one coming back for the first time next year. So hopefully they'll add in
It's been a
some
long
more of
time, right?
that. Yeah, it's been gone for I think for like 6 years.
Yeah.
But it's coming back next year. And then this is not technically a reader event, but I would not be the person I am today without the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Specifically,
yeah.
That was it.
specifically
What
the
makes
Scholastic Book Fair of my
Mhm.
7th grade year, of which my mother made the unfortunate decision to send me to school with a blank check because she didn't know what books I wanted.
Oh,
No.
no.
or
Yeah,
So,
yes.
Mom,
so
we're not paying the
yeah.
mortgage this month.
Yeah, thankfully I was like a aware enough kid. I think I got out for like she got out for like $100 and like
Ah,
books were cheaper then.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Fair.
But yes, my teacher called my mom because she was like, "Are you sure? I've met Kelsey. Are you sure that this is a good idea?"
I love that.
I can still smell the Scholastic Book Fair.
I can feel the paper from the little
Oh my
form.
God.
As someone who has a 7-year-old, I get to go with us to the Scholastic Book Fair again
Oh,
with
That's
jealous.
her.
amazing. That's
And
really
it's
cool.
so like the memories just come flooding back. And it's just like, ah, yes, I get to share this with you now.
That's awesome.
So there might
Jealous.
be
So-
no better feeling than just fresh off the presses Babysitter's Club book in your hand.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
The,
So
the
the
special
first-
summer edition that was
Oh my
like,
God.
Yeah.
You were like,
Mhm.
oh,
Mhm.
hours
like,
of. I'm gonna hang out with Christy for so long. Why did I like
So-
Christy?
I'm gonna
'Cause
marry
I'm
Christy
gay.
when I grow up. Yep.
My
that?
my
Did you know
daughter
that
has
the
gotten
Babysitter
into
Club is
graphic
40 years
novels.
old now?
That holds up.
Apologies. The
That makes sense. Okay, good.
I was like, no, the Babysitter Club is 40 years old now. They had
That
a whole
makes
booth
sense.
that set up as
Yeah,
Christy's
that
bedroom at
actually-
Comic Con this year.
Adds
Yeah.
up real nicely, actually.
Sorry, sorry guys. I aged all of us real fast.
No,
Eh.
fine. I like being old.
I don't.
I don't.
I
In
don't.
graphic novels. Your daughter's into graphic novels?
Yeah, my daughter has started accelerated readers now at school. Like she got to go to her first accelerated reader party because she's doing so well with them, and
God.
she keeps picking
Memories.
graphic novels. And the first graphic novel she picked up was Babysitter's Club. So
Love.
she is reading the
I did
Babysitter's,
not
and
know
it's
there
the
were
little
graphic novels.
They
it's
turned
the
them into
Little
graphic
Sisters
novels.
ones too. So she started with the Little Sisters one. We got her one of the normal ones, and she's working her way up to it. So it's like that. And then one day when we took her to the bookstore because she wanted more, she picked up another one of those and an Animorphs graphic novel, which touched
Whoa.
my heart because like Animorphs was the first books I
Would
ever
wreck
read that
you.
really would just like wrecked me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I like books that make me cry. Okay, cool. All right.
I like
we're here.
hurting in this
We're here for that.
particular way.
You learn what angst was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it feels so good.
And
Do
then
y'all remember the
when high
first
school
book that
came
made
around,
you
it was
ugly
Poe.
cry?
Yes.
Where the red fern grows.
Yes.
Oh,
Destroyed me.
Hands down.
Destroyed me.
My palms
ruined
started
me.
sweating at the idea.
Like ruined me forever. Yes, I was snot coming
Yeah.
out, just much like today.
Yeah.
Just pouring a faucet. That book fucked me up. It's so beautiful.
I still
know what?
can't. Yeah.
now that you mention it, the first book that like I really, really remember ugly crying to, and it was like I think freshman year of college, was Beach Music by Pat Conroy.
Oh
My
yeah.
the letter at the end of that
Streams
book, I read
Oh.
it like 3 times and just
hmm
like I was on the way back from like a mock trial competition, and all of my other not colleagues, my peer students, whatever, were in the
My
were in the
colleagues, your
front-
colleagues.
Yeah,
You call them colleagues.
we're in the front of the
kids
bus.
and
Like,
biz
You can go,
cash.
colleagues. That
Yeah.
actually feels like you would have done
I
in high
don't-
school, actually,
Yeah.
Kels.
Hello, colleagues.
Hello, my fellow colleagues.
I have an agenda for this meeting.
look, I've been a nerd my whole life. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, we certainly haven't. You're
We knew
definitely in
that.
the wrong.
We knew
This
that.
is the
Yeah,
right
you're,
room for
you're in the
that.
right room for that. We're good. Perks of Being a Wallflower was the one that messed me up.
Oh, that'll mess you
Oh.
up.
Like senior
Yeah.
year high school, first year college. Yeah, that did a number on me.
Y'all, mine is so embarrassing. My first one when I was like a little older. I'm not proud of this, but it is true. A Walk to Remember.
Okay.
At the very
That's
end,
fair.
I just remember it. It's like one of those like very clear concrete memories of me just laying in my bed reading this book. and my mom came in to check on me because I was crying so hard.
Yeah.
And she came in and opened the door, and I just looked up and I was like, "This book is so good."
So she's obviously not here. My wife is downstairs, but I do have a firm secondhand memory of, well, the book series that we no longer name, her throwing one 10 feet across the room to the other side of her bedroom, and her dad apparently walked in and was like, "What is happening?" And it was when Sirius Black died
Yeah.
and
We don't
chucked it
care if we
across.
spoil it.
Oh, I don't give
Yeah.
a
Yeah, fuck
And
Yeah.
nobody
I'm just
cares.
not saying the name of the book.
Yeah.
But other than that.
She doesn't need our oxygen.
I also remember as a full ass adult, because I came to that series late, reading that series, and so I like binged the entire series, and I remember eating breakfast when the elf died and just fucking weeping into my
Mhm.
cereal, and my mom being like, "Jeremy, you are 24 years old,
But
this
a
is not real.
fictional little
This
creature.
is not real. Like,
Oh,
what is
goodness.
wrong with you?" And I was like, "It's just so sad," but now we kill the IP because fuck that woman.
Yeah.
She is so much,
I
but yeah.
All Dogs Go to Heaven, that
My
movie.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I threw up. I cried so hard.
Mhm.
I threw up. Isn't that lovely? But I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it feels a little cheap the way we just manipulated. It's like you're gonna just get like give me like a lovely little side creature character, whether it be a pet or otherwise, and I'm done. Like give me a
Mhm.
CGI dragon sobbing. Actual
You know
person, and
you
I'm
know they
like,
have a website
okay.
now for that.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
it's like, "Does the dog die?" And you can type in
Yes.
the movie, and it will tell you whether or not the dog survives. Because I don't wanna go in if I think
I don't
that's
want
gonna
any part of
happen.
that. That's not for me. Thank you. Yep.
It's not
Um,
your ministry.
I think, and I mean, I Readout really is so special, and it's not. It's kind of like let me try to think. We're having you guys on because Readout is so special to us. It's not that we're talking about Readout to cater to you guys. Does that make sense? Because for me, my first, and I think Kelsey does know this, the first place that ever invited me anywhere was Readout and was Kelsey. And I was like, me? This raccoon in a coat? Sure, I'll come. And
Same for me too. That was the first time that I had been invited someplace as like my pseudonym Quinn.
I mean, there's nothing like that feeling of someone saying, "I like what you're doing. Would you come like talk about it?" I think is the power of that is huge. Um, but it was, and there's also, and we'll talk about, I think, what makes Readout so special. Also, I've cleverly set up that question of what is Readout as the second one. So I think we're doing, what is it? Dramatic irony. So I last year's readout, I think we were all collectively struggling, right, with our fears for what is going to be next for us. And we all knew no bueno. So I think there was such a sense of camaraderie and community that I think it felt just really important. It felt really necessary. And there were two things that I have not stopped thinking about that I learned at Readout on other panels. The first one was from the BIPOC panel that I got to moderate, which was really cool. And I asked, if somebody wants to write a BIPOC character, but it's not their lived experience, like, what do you recommend? And I'm blanking on the name. I will remember and I will pass along who said it 'cause she was sitting next to me. And she was like, well, my question would be why? Why do you want to write this character? If you don't know, this isn't your lived experience, and you don't know someone close enough that you already have internalized a lot of those experiences and you have a close friend or a close connection to someone that you could talk to. So it's like, why? And that blew my mind. Like, if you don't already know someone that you can talk to about in a natural way that you just know, because, right, like your friends, you just learn about each other's experiences. That blew my mind. And really, you're going to move my entire microphone? Wednesday's being a menace, you guys. I'm sorry. And the second one was L. Iyer's spouse. I don't know
Yes.
their name.
Yes.
Like
Talking
not off
about
the top of
Oh.
my head.
Jose?
Oh, Jose?
Jose.
Yes.
Yes.
In Arte,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and they were talking, and it's again the same vein about writing different because we all want more of everything, and that's guys know I preach that all the time. More of everything, and more people writing from their experiences. Okay. And they said, write my adventures, not my angst.
Mhm.
And I have not stopped
Me
thinking about
neither.
that.
Me neither.
It was just, and it's like, yes, we can explore characters as we do of all characters, but it's like when you step into that space, that's where it's not for you, right?
Mhm.
Unless you can share that understanding that only comes from lived experience, right? Like it just does. But that doesn't mean do not put or only tokenize these characters. It's just the kinds of stories you tell should reflect your experience or lack thereof. And obviously, in a best case scenario, co-write with someone who's that's their lived experience and you can have a more full. But anyway, so I just walked away and I've never gone as in any profession that I've had, I've never gone to a conference or event that I've ever walked away with something I can't forget.
Mhm.
And those two things stuck with me. And I think it comes down to the really careful curating of valuable um panels or like it doesn't feel like check mark, let's do these things, people are interested. It feels like such a curated, thoughtful, really wide ranging level of topics, from absolutely silly, like, we were talking about tropes and that was so much fun. I mean, hysterical, to the really fun Quinn reading see and me sweating. I don't sweat, you guys, and I was sweating. I was like, Jeremy, you are too close to me and you're doing a really good job. And I'm very nervous. And then, I'm getting drunk from the little booze. So from that to these really profound moments, it ran the gamut and we need all of it, right? We can't handle a weekend full of really intense,
Mhm.
deep things that make you because at some point it just can't land, right? You saturate. And it can't all be fun because that's not reflecting the reality of our lives right now. And how I wish we could have only silly things. So to me, that was my absolute favorite. So it was my 20, I was going to say 23, but maybe it was 24, was my favorite. But last year's, or it was my first, but last year's, I think I'm going to carry last year for the rest of my life. And I'm not being exaggerated when I say that. And of course, it's brought us invaluable connections and friendships and community. So, will you tell us, Kelsey, a little bit about how you got involved? Because it's like, I think you're all of our first connection to Read Out. So, kind of, what is it, and how'd you become involved?
Yeah, sure. So, thank you. That's very sweet.
It's the truth. Jeremy knows. I say it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I even had a conversation about write my adventures and not my angst with Jamie at GCLS with Rachel Lacey this summer because it was so profound. And I told Elle too. Like, yeah, it's just it's all true and it's all with intention and also with vision. Like, you all are creating this with intention and vision and uh and with advocacy and with activism and with great joy and love. And so, yeah, it's all true and it's really special to be a part of it in any capacity as an attendee, as a panelist, as just, a volunteer, it's wonderful.
And it was Sheree Greer who said that.
Gosh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
want to
Yep. Yep.
mispronounce
She's
her
Yep.
name.
brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, she's brilliant.
I mean, that was one of those, like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna sit here quietly. Just
Yeah,
say
yeah, that
whatever
was
you
one of those,
want.
like, I'm just gonna sit and take notes and also
Yep.
just cry
Yep.
probably because you're
She's
brilliant.
brilliant, and just to quickly plug her, she runs, or she either runs it or she's the founder of an organization called Kitchen Table Literary Arts, which is based in St. Pete. That since I started with Read Out, every year we've had either a panel hosted by them
Will you
or a
repeat that
panel
again,
that,
Kelsey, so that I can share
yeah,
it with
sure. It's
everybody?
Kitchen Table Literary Arts.
Kitchen Table Literary Arts. Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, and every year we've either had a panel that was done by them or they've sent X number of their authors. They do writing classes, things like that. Some of their authors to read out to be on a panel, which they're always fantastic and very insightful. Um, but I got, let's see. So I actually went to read out the year before the pandemic hit. And it was the one thing you have to remember about ReadOut is it's not a convention, it's a festival. So ReadOut is actually a program of Out Arts and Culture, which is a nonprofit based in Gulfport, Florida. The nonprofit itself is local LGBTQ. It is originally based in the Gulfport Public Library. We've kind of expanded a little bit since then.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But we have outside of ReadOut, there's a juried art festival that we do called Art Out. There's a small scholarship fund, and then there's a speaker series as well. ReadOut is just I would say, most prominent of the programs that we have. So it's been around for 9 years, and when it started, it was specifically a lesbian book festival.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. When
And
I
then
joined,
Kelsey got involved.
that is exactly what happened, yes.
That's right. Hi, diversity.
A little bit. I joined during the pandemic because they were looking for someone, let's be honest, under the age of 60 to help with computers. So I came in to help with Zoom.
Oh,
And
so
it
cute.
was, yeah, it was great. That was the first year that we had really authors from outside of just Florida.
Oh.
So we had that was Stephanie Shea. The
Mhm.
first time we had her in our digital festival, our virtual festival. Jay from Germany actually
Yeah.
zoomed in for that one the first year.
Wow.
Stephanie.
Yeah, they're great. And from that, the following year, we had a conversation about how, hey, even the authors that we have here don't identify as lesbians. Some of them do. Some of them identify as bisexual, pan, just queer. And we started to evolve the festival from there. It was then changed to Sapphic, and then the following year we switched it to Read Out, a festival of LGBTQ plus literature. So as it's kind of grown every year, we've tried to make it more diverse, not just in sexuality, but gender diversity, as well as making sure that we're inviting people of color, Black people, making sure that the entire festival is as diverse as possible, and not just it's great to have a panel on for people of color or for trans, but all those authors also have to be woven into every other panel in the festival, and
Amen.
that's something that we've been working pretty heavily on, particularly the last, I would say, 3 years. But I'm very happy now because I have Megan and Jamie to bring in some fresh faces as well.
I have to say it never has ever felt to me tokenized. And I've only just realized that as you said it, that it is probably the most diverse event I have ever been to, and it is a small event. So it kind of, relatively speaking, right, when you compare it to I mean, I go to Steaming Lit every year, right? So that's like, I don't know, like 1,000 attendees or something. Um,
No, it's much smaller. It's
and
about
it's
200.
right. And what a testament to the work y'all are doing. It just occurred to me because it's so normal. And I mean that in like the best sense of that word, that it does not feel that it's like, well, let's get a trans gal. Let's make sure we have like someone Hispanic, anyone like, Black people of all. I mean, I mean, you have someone from Alaska that comes every year.
Oh yeah,
So it's like,
Kathy, she's great.
yeah. So you know
Well,
what I mean? It's like, and it feels so, you blew my mind a little bit because I did not realize that's probably intentional.
We
And
are and I cannot stress this enough,
it
like,
doesn't
we
feel
have
that way though. It feels
yeah.
so natural. Like nothing feels forced. And like you said, I think it's probably down to, now we are going to talk about this thing and this isolation. It's like, no, everybody's included in everything. And we also make space to highlight these things.
Mhm.
And that's beautiful. And I honestly just realized that for the first time as you
So
were talking.
Well, I
some
wanna
of
say
that is
that
just go
Kelsey,
ahead,
I'm gonna
Megan.
brag on you first.
No.
Do
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Do it.
So,
Do it. Do it.
I started last year, and by started last year, I mean Kelsey and I big boyed my way into basically just being like, "We're gonna do this the way we wanna do this, and I'll just keep talking till you let us."
Mhm.
I don't
But
like you. How
Sounds
strange.
sounds
I
right.
know,
That's fact. That's how it happened.
but I genuinely, I'm not, I'm just like, no, Kelsey's smarter than y'all. We're gonna listen to Kelsey, and I'm gonna keep talking till you do. But something that Kelsey has done is there's sort of these 5, and we kind of articulated them for the first time this year, but it was really Kelsey driving it. These sort of 5 things what we always want Read Out to be. And the first one is inclusive and like truly inclusive. And then smart. We don't want to underestimate our audience. We want it to be delightful. And then our notion of community is that everyone is welcome and everyone creates the community. And I think that because that's Kelsey's intention and Readout's intention, it's not we are intentional about everything we do, but it is very natural to be inclusive when you start from the place of community is made by everybody, and this
Yes.
community only works when everybody understands they're contributing to the community. And I think that's
Absolutely.
why Kelsey, I mean, and me by extension and Jamie by extension, but our passion has been that. And it really did start like, and I can't stress this enough with Kelsey being like, hey man, what if we weren't the worst? What if we weren't the worst?
Mhm.
And I just
Yeah.
want to like make sure that I shout that out because I think it takes a team to execute a vision, but it takes a vision to happen first. And Kelsey really had a vision for this thing early.
Thanks, Megan.
Hey man, you're not going to shout yourself out. And I frankly have a microphone.
You do. You have a legit microphone. I have my like Apple headphone, but okay.
That's right. That's how you know it's legit.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
right.
no, I
So
mean, I think that
Microphone, it must
Doesn't
be
have
right.
it doesn't
I
have
think that's
cat ear stuff,
something
so
that
you
is
know.
kind of
I know.
different that kind of like bleeds into everything else as far as making sure that we are as diverse as possible is that because Readout is a nonprofit, we're not concerned about making money. I would say that on our best years, we break even with this festival. It is by no means a money making venture. So we've always been really careful about trying to keep the cost as low as possible for attendees. We, well, as you both know, we invite authors. We don't necessarily have a sign up. People have reached out before and we've, invited them to come, but we are very particular about inviting people to the festival. We want to make sure that it's as widespread as possible, but also the people that we invite are going to be good stewards of the community. And then also making sure that, you know, we have a nice balance of indie authors, small press authors, mainstream authors. We actually have very few of the big 5 authors. We do have a couple coming this year that we're so happy that they're coming, but really like small press and indie is where we live because ReadOut really grew out of the local community, and we want to make sure that we still have the reflection of not just local but other red states, and then we bring people to read out that have good things to say, but we really try to focus on what our community looks like in Florida.
And the truth of queer literature is not only Readout lives in small press and indie spaces because queer literature lives in small press and indie spaces.
Well, that's where it started. I mean, it was so hard to get a big 5 book to I mean, until recently, and now I think we're moving unfortunately, JJ and I just talked about this, like, a couple days ago. We saw a real boon in, wanting more diversity in traditional publishing, wanting more diversity and, more voices, especially queer voices, LGBTQ voices, like, 3, 4 years ago, and it's really slowing down. It's really slowing down, and I think I mean, this is me talking out of the side of my mouth, but I do think a lot of it is due to the political landscape that we find ourselves in, that it is traditional publishing is struggling to take risks on people that are not known, that are not a sure bet, that are not safe, that are not gonna sell. And JJ and I talk about this all the time, just in terms of, like, perception of press and what it means to be like, "Oh, I'm a big 5 published author," or, like, or even just, like, it's I think it's exerted upon all of us like, I consider myself, like, primarily indie narrator now, like, I do very few projects for trad, because all of my work comes to me based on relationship and me knowing these authors at the getting to be friends with them, like, at these events, and it's someone was talking about how they had a queer release. There's like a like a YA fantasy with a witch, and that it went into reprint like 5 times before release or something, but then there weren't enough copies for indie bookstores. But then they're like the book fizzled, and then no one's mentioning it, and he's not worried because he's a internet personality, and he's a lovely person. Don, I forget his last name, blonde guy, glasses, does a lot of really good content.
You've probably seen him.
You've
Martin.
probably seen him around.
Yeah, I know
Don,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, and that's what spurred our conversation with JJ, because I was like, "Oh, this is really interesting." Like, I knew that his release was big and splashy, but then it's not on any spooky season reads. It's not on any like witchy fall reads because it kind of fell off the radar. And he's like, "I'm not worried about me because I've been able to build my own community, and so I think I'll be okay, and I think I have a bright future in publishing." But other queer voices, other marginalized voices, other LGBTQ writers and creators, yeah, it is harder because traditional publishing is not going to give you, like, the big budget. They're not gonna get off they're probably not gonna make more than your advance because the books just aren't gonna sell. They're not gonna go into reprint, and that's just the landscape of suppression that we're seeing. And in the indie and smaller presses, y'all are out here, like,
Because
making
there's no smaller demand. I think that's the thing, right? The demand is gonna remain the same. It's just, I think we know corporations are skittish and they get nervous, and that's what publishing is. It's just you sell books instead of, cars. And you overcorrect and you act from fear, and so you pull these books because 'cause you're like, "Well, we're not gonna make our money back, so that's fine." So I think we're gonna go back to, and I think about the keynote at GCLS this year too, and thinking about, you know, s this is, and like Macon was saying, this is where queer books started. This is where they will always be safe, and this is where they will always be available, and I think we've just gotten so used to this incredible amount of choice from all manner of, big publishers to indie published. And I think those readers are not gonna atrophy. I think they're just gonna move. And I think the big publishing
Mhm.
houses are gonna realize that and come back, because it's like
Absolutely.
they wanna take our gay dollars. So
Absolutely. Well,
they
and then
wanna make
it
them.
it's interesting to go to such a larger scale event like a Queers and Quills, which JJ and I both were able to attend this year, and to see the turnout for like, the turnout was, no offense to those authors, love them, I've worked with a couple of them. The turnout of readership was for our indie and small
Mhm.
press authors, because you all are building community. You
Community,
are
that's
accessible,
exactly
Well,
it.
you are
and very
so
frankly, writing queer books.
well, yeah, you're writing queer books, like, authentically on your own terms. You're writing what you want, how you want, without an editor or somebody being like, "Hey, can we make this less gay? Can we take out these characters?" Like, what I forget the scale of what I forget the scale in publishing for, like, checking the boxes or whatever. But you all are it's remarkable. It's remarkable to see. I mean, and also, like, readers are gonna be like, "Yeah, I will get the ebook, and as soon as it's released, then I also want a print edition.
Oh, yeah.
To do a special edition when you get a book box. I will also do the audiobook. I will
Mhm.
also come and try to see you at
I
the
will
event."
also click it in KU, even though I've already read it in 7 other forms, but I'm just gonna click through, and I do think that the heart of all of this is the same kind of community that y'all have built at
Absolutely.
ReadOUT.
I
Absolutely.
think that, it's interesting because, at the end of the day, we take care of us. And
That's it, period.
but it's also, I know that I personally started reading particularly Sapphic romance, probably 14-ish years ago, something like that, 14, 15 years ago. And at that point, it was basically all bold strokes. But it was all indie press. Like, I didn't even know it existed. Came across one book in, like, Barnes& and Nobles. They happen to have, like, one bold strokes book, and I went online and bought half their back catalog. But
Mine was Karen Callmaker.
oh,
Oh, I
yeah.
mean, the OG
Solid.
for all.
I wish I knew where
Mhm.
it was, so I would share it because it was like a Barnes& and Noble or Borders or whatever, or Books a Million, who could know? And I was like, what is this? Because sure, there's other books like Ruby Fruit Jungle and all these things, but it's like in terms of a legit romance, and obviously it wouldn't have been called Sapphic then, but I like the word Sapphic, a Sapphic romance. And I was like,
It was also in like the psychology
what?
section, like they had
It
it
was
like
always
sociology.
right next to like self-help. So then you just like pretend that you care about self-help. It's like somebody comes walking down, you're like, no, I'm in ninth grade and I care about my marriage. This is really important to me.
I was a junior in college and with my grandmother.
Yeah. You don't look at what you're reading.
She did not care. She was like, what's that? None of your business.
No, don't worry about it. It's boring. Jamie, what do you see for like the future of ReadOUT? Because you came on last year, like in the behind the scenes kind of capacity.
So, I mean, sort of like, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to more of just keeping it going, but maximizing the good things that we're already doing, like that building of a sense of community. I know we're working on several events that outside of the panels that are designed for us to keep fostering that sense of community. Some of the panels that we're coming up with, not to spoil anything, but they look really cool. Like there's some really
You're not gonna
fun
tell
panels that
us?
we're coming up with. No, you
You're
have to wait for us to announce
not
that.
exclusive.
So impatient.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
give y'all
know.
exclusive. Don't worry.
Can we get just one? Just one.
Is it what I'm
Kelsey
thinking?
says
Megan?
no.
I think no. I
Is it the Friday night?
I think we could
I
probably
want to talk
talk
about Friday night and Saturday night.
Okay, we can talk
yeah.
about both of
Saturday
those.
night.
Yeah.
I think we
But
can
that's
talk
the
about
thing.
both.
Is this just? That's what I look forward to the most. Is it's like there are other cons I've gone to, GCLS, that it's like, oh, it's a con. It's a con. There's a lot of things going on. There's so many places to be. But I think one thing that I love about ReadOUT is we're all in one space.
I
We all
do.
have that one auditorium. We all have that one area. Hopefully this year we'll have another little area. And it's just community. It's just community, and we're all there loving each other's panels, learning things, chatting, and then afterwards,
Yeah.
going to a speakeasy or a dog bar or the wine bar. We get the wine and
That
barbecue bar,
dog
which,
bar was awesome. I would like to
it was so
Y'all,
fun.
you get to drink with other people's dogs. They're just hanging around. There was a
Mhm.
husky in
Yeah.
an ice bath, and I had the time of my life.
Care that I
Yeah.
smelled. I
It
didn't.
smelled like
no.
pee. No one cares. That's fine.
I didn't
That's
care.
fine.
It was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best. And
It's
going
very
And you're
important
right.
that it
It was
is your
everybody.
last
Like,
bar of the evening.
Yes.
So that you
that is very true.
walk in not caring about how it smells. That's an
Mhm.
important factor in all of this.
and
Yeah.
I think,
You don't
Jamie, I think
start at
you
the dog
just
bar.
said, I think you just said it, that, and it's everyone. Like, there is no, and it's like a bigger event. It's like that people branch off, people want to do different things.
Yeah.
But like, Gulfport is such a cute town, and we'll get into this, I don't want to spoil it, but it's like very, very queer. And it is the only event like that it's like everyone just kind of moves in a pack and everybody's just kind of
Yeah.
going to the same places, and you get to hang out with people that you wouldn't ever get another chance to like hang out with.
Yeah.
and it's
And like,
super. It's
no, go
super
ahead.
walkable too, and also I think something that it is always a concern to me is like becoming a super spreader event. Like, and especially, I think I was traumatized by GCLS 2 years ago because that was tough. I mean, I think most of us walked away with COVID. I
You got
certainly,
COVID. Yep.
but
The
like,
flu.
it's also lovely to like be in a space. First of all, Florida in February is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Able to
And
like
Gulfport is
Yeah.
so cute. It is
so
such a
cute
cute
and you feel
town.
really safe, and then you just go places and you're
Super
outside.
safe. Yeah.
It's so lovely. And then if people do want a mask, they can feel like they can take off their mask and have conversations because we can be
We're
outside.
outside. Yeah.
It's really, sorry, I just am super mindful of like where we are health wise in this administration, and so like what a lovely, because I think about like J.R. Dawson, who's a pretty diligent masker, but that they could take off their mask at the wine bar and like have a conversation and a meal and feel safe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
You were
Love
gonna say
that.
something else, Jamie. I'm sorry. I feel
I completely lost my train of thought. I was just talking about like, so like last year when we went to the wine bar, I just loved how, like, yeah, there are certain groups there's certain groups within the big group that'll form just because that's what we can do. You can't have a conversation with 50 people at one time, but like, you have that feeling of you can bounce. Like, I can have a conversation with Quinn over here, and then go over here and talk to JJ and who she's talking to, and then, oh, Macon's over here, like, and you don't feel like you're barging into any one of
Oh,
them, and you don't feel like you're not allowed in any of them.
Right.
And I
Exactly.
say that as someone who, like, even my first time, 2024, I didn't feel that way. Like, it was my first time, but, like, I was still hanging with everyone, and I didn't feel like everyone was like, "Okay, who's this new person? Eh," you know? So, I think that's a big thing about it. So, and I'm
that's
looking
It's
forward to more of
also
that.
yeah.
probably one of the only events, GCLS certainly to an extent, where I think because of the nature of, not smaller authors, but like indie authors, small press authors who are also craving that desire to like actually see their readers in person. Whereas like some of the more mainstream authors, they have these like big book signing tours and they go to, it's people are really craving that interaction. And then for our particular community that where we don't have as many of these events, readers and authors, there isn't really as much of a line at ReadOut as there are with some other conventions. Like, please be respectful. I will have a conversation with everyone when they walk through the door. But, as long as you're being respectful and cool, like, you can hang. And that's really the goal is to build that community event so that it doesn't become this, thing where you have to wait in line for 2 hours to get a book signed. And kind of one of our goals as we've grown the convention is to grow at a rate that makes sense for what we want ReadOut to be. And just we typically cap at about 50 participants, authors, audiobook narrators. We have a couple influencers coming this year, which are all fantastic. But we typically keep it at around 50. And then in terms of like audience size, our goal was really like around like 200. We don't ever want it to get so big that we lose the thread of what
So
ReadOut.
do you think you'll always have a kind of cap like that, or is it like scale up to the max?
No, I think we'll always have a cap. One of the reasons is because as long as we're able to do so, we like to give authors, all the participants, a little bit something for coming and trying to help with travel and or hotel or what have you. We provide a small stipend just so we can also get some of those authors who may otherwise not have been able to come. So that's one reason we keep it small, but also just because it is a lot easier to kind of control what the panels look like and the conversation we were having before around making sure that we are diverse across the board if we cap that number and really take the time to vet who we're inviting into the space.
I love that. I mean, I'm just obsessed with like the intentionality of it all. And I think this is something we've kind of touched on and moved around it, but haven't nailed it directly, which is, Jamie, Macon, and I are in the South. And, Kelsey and
I
Quinn
was.
are not.
Hey,
Um
Kelsey is Southern. She just married a
she's
girl
not,
from
but
New
she's not
York.
physically
Look,
located.
Not
sometimes you
anymore,
marry a girl
yeah.
from New York.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
Yeah.
But it seems to me wouldn't it be easier to just have this event somewhere else, right? Like not in a red state where people can just come to. So can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like this idea of intentionality and that you're staying in a red state because the gays are still here. But it's I know that some people worry about that, right? It's like, can I come to Florida?
I I'm gonna get on a soapbox for a minute, and I'm not gonna apologize about it. Um, so there's a myth that it is dangerous for queer people to visit the South. Um, if you look at the places where the most hate crimes for queer peoples happen, the top 3 are New York, California, and Massachusetts. And it's not close. You are 3 times more likely to be hate crimed in California than you are in any southern city. You're 2 times more likely to experience a hate crime in New York than you are in any southern city. It is not dangerous for queer people to visit the South. The South is really hard for queer people to live in, but it is not dangerous to visit here. And why it is hard for people to live in the South is twofold. One, I guess I want to say this. 1 in 3 queer people in the United States lives in the South. 35% of queer people are in the South. It is the single highest concentration of queer people in any region in the country, and it is not close. Like, the number of queer people of color in the South is a lot higher than
Yeah.
anywhere else. The number of Black queer people in the South is 2 times higher than any place else in the country. There are a bunch of queer people in the South, and there's a lot of tough legislation against people in the South that makes it hard to live there. But not for the reasons you're thinking. It doesn't actually make it more violent. It doesn't actually make it more, on the surface, dangerous. There's more overt homophobia. I think that it's more okay to express certain, like, slurs and stuff in the South, for sure. So there's that idea of enacted stigma. You might experience more enacted stigma. What makes it more dangerous for queer people to live in the South is if a queer person in the South is 10 to 15 times more likely to kill themselves than any other place in the country. Most of the queer violence that happens in the South is self-harm. For kids young people between the ages of 18 and 24 in the South, 69%. 69%, that's a ridiculous amount, report low quality of life, which means they report really low mental health scores. And why is this happening? Because we don't have queer spaces. The laws in the South that have made it dangerous in the South are the laws that have taken away queer spaces, especially for young people. LGBTQ groups at schools and at universities, queer bars, queer spaces. A lot of people have self-selected to leave the South if they had the funds to do so, and in doing so have taken away queer spaces. But my favorite statistic of all of this is that it only takes one LGBTQIA affirming person or event to make a person in the South 40% less likely to kill themselves. One event, one discrete event, one discrete queer affirming moment, a moment where they can say, oh, this isn't so bad. So when you ask, like, why shouldn't I go to a blue state? Why should I do this in red states? Because here's the deal, man. The blue states are going to get theirs. They're going to get
Yeah.
theirs. They have clubs. They have places. They have spaces everywhere you look. But ReadOUT in the heart of Florida could be that one place where someone comes in and sees, holy shit, there are queer people. Holy shit, there are people who love what I love. Oh, look, you can create community where people love and accept you, and you can do it here. It can save and change lives in a way it cannot in other places. So it's like everyone is so quick to be like, all they do is spin hate and propaganda, until they talk about queer people in the South. And they're like, that's actually true. Why? Why are we buying into that with only the queer people in the South thing? Like, yeah, it's hard to be queer in the South if you live here, but mostly because we've made it so isolating.
Mhm.
When you have community, when you have places in the South that allow you to feel affirmed in your identity, it's great. So, like, why I think we should go to the South is it's cheaper, way less petty crime and gang violence in most of the places we have it, and you're saving a life.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
I love that.
I also think too, it's not just having the event I think is important, but I also think people coming to the event from other places.
Yes.
Because I think one thing that bothers me that I see it, and I know I'm not alone, and it happens with a lot of my other Southern queer friends, is this mentality of just, just abandon them. Like, just get, haha, the red states are getting what they deserve.
Right, we're taking our
Or
gay dollars elsewhere.
just leave. If it's such a big deal, just leave. It's like,
Well, you can't.
A, I can't. B, I mean, for a myriad of reasons, I can't. It's not that easy. Like, okay, yeah, you do everything I would have to do to leave. B, why like, can I swear?
Yeah.
I certainly have.
Why the fuck
It's
why
recommended.
why the fuck should I?
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck should I? Why should I be forced to leave a place where I have found community? Like, I live in a city that luckily is very queer friendly and have found community. Why should I be forced to leave it because some person in Massachusetts thinks that's what I should do or I should get abandoned?
Yeah,
And
or
so
why
I
should
think
we
it
give up?
sends a signal to the queer people here, not only that we have this event, but that people from New York are coming, that people from other red states are coming, the people that or from other blue states are coming, and it shows that, like, hey, we're not only not abandoning you because we're putting on this event, but we're also not abandoning you because we're coming here to show you we're still here with you, that
Mhm.
we are a part of your community, even
Yes.
if we're not in a red state or we're not in your red state, we're still a part of the global or national queer community, and we've got your back no matter what. That signal is huge, and I think that is on top of everything Macon said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
So
it's like you don't ask any other marginalized group to leave the front lines of where the fight's happening.
No.
yeah,
You know what I
No.
mean? They're not like asking people to be like, "Hey, look, I know it's bad in Chicago, but what if we retreated and we'll pick them up in Indy?" Like, that's just
yeah,
not what you do. You
yeah,
stay on the front lines.
yeah,
Right.
Queer rights battles are the front lines of the queer rights battles are the South. So help us fight on the front lines. Like, we're not retreating. It'd be great
yeah,
if people joined us.
I
Also,
yeah,
also
our
think
weather is so good. The weather is so good.
In
The
February,
food's
at
great.
least. We're not asking you to come visit us in August.
And here's the
yeah,
deal.
we
no,
didn't plan this in August.
We don't
no,
hate
It's at
you.
105.
no,
Yeah.
400% humidity.
Well, and that was something else that really stuck with me too, and I think it was on the BIPOC panel at all as well. It was our poet last year, and somebody asked why she,
Slam.
yeah,
Anderson.
Oh,
and like
Slam or Maroon?
like why does she stay in Florida? And she's like, I love Florida. Like Florida is so much a part of who I am and what and the artist that I became. And like I'm right by the water. Like it is part of my DNA. And I am a queer Black woman in Florida and I'm staying here because I love it and we exist and I don't want to leave. I love it here. And like I do think that that's also a really beautiful element of the festival too. It
Yeah.
is a celebration of
Absolutely.
LGBTQ work, but it's also a celebration of Florida. It's a celebration of queer culture in Florida, queer art in Florida made by people who live there. And yeah, you're so right, Megan. We don't ask I mean, nobody's asking me to leave like New York, you know? Or like, I'm not asking Lindsay to leave Chicago because it's getting dicey there. Like, you just, batten down the hatches and you fight more.
I also think we've forgotten, or I have, especially I think we're all reasonably close in age, and so we have like roughly the same kind of experience in terms of like the culture at large, right? And gayness specifically. And we grew up in a time, or we're like young adults in a time of like Bud Light makes rainbow labels
Rainbow
during the
capitalism.
summer,
Yeah.
and right. And so we grew up in a time where these markers of pride are commodified and therefore ubiquitous, right? And it's like, and they're good. And I'm not afraid of like wearing something with a, rainbow on it
mhm,
and, or, whatever particular flag. I think rainbow because I'm thinking back, right? When the 90s, early aughts. And we forget that its purpose is we are here, right? And it's like because it no longer needs to, well, it no longer needed to mean that for us. And it was like, yeah, I feel totally safe. But it was like, no, here is this thing that I'm wearing with pride.
Mhm.
And what we're facing now, I think, is the opposite, a silencing, right? And it's like, this is exactly what they want us to do is to stop, shut up and go away, right? Like go
mhm,
somewhere else, go be someone else's problem. And when we refuse, they don't win.
Mhm.
And that's not to say, Steph and I were concerned about, like, this summer, do we put out a little pride flag or not? Like, what will it cost me? And it's like, well, and thinking about what Macon said, and it's like, yeah, but what if someone drives by my house or a kid walks their dog and maybe they can't
Mhm.
tell anyone in the world they're gay? And we live in
Mhm.
a decent neighborhood for that, in terms of whatever, but we have plenty of people who openly
Mhm.
disagree because we know who they voted for, right? But it's like, what if there is someone walking by and they're like, well, at least there's those lesbians who look a little like twins, and I feel a little better today.
I
And you
think
just you just don't know. And it's important to wear it with pride because you don't exactly what Megan was saying, you don't know who's looking at you. And probably the only person you're making an impact on is the person who needed to see you. And probably
Mhm.
not some other moron who made some stupid comment. I've not experienced that personally as an adult here in this area, like in South Florida. But assholes are everywhere.
Everywhere.
So I'm sorry, Kelsey, you wanted to say
no,
something.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it's also just really interesting because, as you said, we're all of similar ages. But I mean, I grew up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which, is a tourist town and a weird kind of little area for the South. But forever, the only gay bar in Myrtle Beach was a club called Timeout.
Mhm.
And from the outside, it was completely bricked, no windows, nothing. It had one rainbow flag. And to get into the bar, you had to be 21 and over. You had to sign up for a membership with your ID. They kept it on file. You got a membership card. And if you were under 21, you had to go in with someone who had one. And it was a safety mechanism so that people couldn't come into the club, a tourist, whatever, and they had a record of everyone who was in there. And this was through until I graduated college. So yeah, there are some areas where when we were college age, high school age, you started to see kind of these like cracks in the foundation and rainbow flags but for a lot of areas, we we were still very much there, at least in a mentality of what everyone thought was appropriate. So I think that there's been I'm not gonna I in no way going to attempt to blame the younger generation, but and I'm very happy for them that they haven't had to see that, even the parts that we did. But there are all of these historic events that because they didn't have to learn them, they did
They get lost.
the queer coding of things, they've kind of lost. And unfortunately, I think what we're starting to see a bit is because no one cared about necessarily what your sexuality was, and they shouldn't, it's your business. But some of that also disappeared in the I think the pride of being like, no, I'm a lesbian. Yes, love that you are whatever you identify yourself to be,
Mhm.
but I'm this, and I'm gonna stand up really loud and, wave my
Mhm.
little flag.
Yeah.
And I think it has lost a bit of the solidarity within our community that now I think we're trying to kinda go back to our queer elders and be like, "Hey, we have to learn how to protest. We have to learn how to protest now. We have forgotten."
We're here
Mhm.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So like my wife, they're a big queer history person, especially with Wild West, because that's their sort of fascination. And the past couple of years, I've been working on a book about queer comics. Um, and that is specifically trans comics. And that has pushed me to read a lot of history. And the thing I always think about when I read about trans history and queer history is it sucked and it's going to depress you in some areas, like learning about what you had to go through to get hormone replacement therapy in the 70s is brutal. It's brutal. But at the same time, there's a bit of a hope that comes from that of knowing that we've been through this before. We're strong enough to get through it again. And it's going to suck, but we can get through it. And the bigots, the people running people in government making these decisions, they're going to be here. They're going to come and go. But queer people have always found a way to survive, and queer people will always find a way to survive. And the main thing is community is going to do it. And that's what ReadOUT and other events like this, and that's why these things are so important to show. It's been all to say this, but like we're here, we're queer, we're always going
Not
to be
going
here, we're
anywhere.
always going to be queer, we're not going anywhere. So
Absolutely.
fuck you,
Hell yeah.
Well, and it's like, and on top of that, it's like we're here, we're queer, we're always going to be here, we've always been here. Also, you just don't get to win.
Yeah,
You
it's
simply
queer
don't get to
stubbornness.
win. Yeah, that's the thing is like when you think about like, because I've had the privilege of getting to talk to a lot of queer elders lately on a project I'm working on, and the thing that I have been noticing, starting with the 70s, when like a lot of, and I've been specifically focusing on lesbian history, so shout out lesbians.
Let's go lesbians. Okay.
Woo!
Let's go.
Like starting in the 70s when there was like a group of lesbians that were like, "Hey man, this is getting weird and bad. We're going to buy a bunch of land in Arkansas and learn to be farmers, and we're going to get really good at it." And now Hot Springs exists. Like, and there's like our whole history has been, no, simply you don't get to win. You are wrong. And so we're just going to stay living. We're going to stay celebrating ourselves. We're going to stay having queer book festivals anywhere we freaking want to. And you just don't get a say. And I think that to kind of bring it back to the question you asked, like, why not go to New York, or why not go to California, or why not go to Chicago, or why not go to any place that feels more queer friendly? Well, I don't know. Why not come here? Like, we're staying. Stay, come hang out. Like, it's not an either or. We're not fighting a better fight here or there. We're not, but we are way more in need of community here rather than
Yeah.
there.
Work.
And the history of queer rights at its core is we just go to where the biggest need is and we start there. In
Yeah.
the AIDS movement, everyone, all hands on deck to help the AIDS movement. When it was marriage equality, we just went all hands on deck to marriage equality. And step by step, we just went to where the problem was as a community and we fought. And so in this moment, the thing we could do that would be the most helpful to this administration is to say, I'm not going there.
Right.
So just
Going to
don't
support
do
this
it.
group.
Right.
Yeah. Or like, hey man, when you come back to the North, I'll come back to your event.
Right.
Like that's the least helpful thing we could do right now.
So how can we, thinking about that and knowing you guys are having funding,
Mhm.
you've lost some sources of funding because of these exact things we're talking about. How can people best support ReadOUT specifically to keep it alive and vibrant, assuming obviously attend if you can?
Yeah. Shout out, come.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking fun. We have all kinds of things. If you are a small business or a medium-sized business, there's tons of great sponsorship opportunities. And then you can just show your stuff to a bunch of really cool queer people. Maybe the token's straight. We don't know who's going to attend, but it's usually mostly queer people.
Hey, they're invited.
There's always like one. There's always great.
Yeah. Yeah,
At the
we
end,
always-
normally that one
No.
person who shows up, they're a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Someone's
the power
husband will come.
straights. Yeah.
that's right. Probably a bi woman's. And what? That is a fact. That is a absolute.
Yeah.
solid
Oh, yeah, no,
fact.
It was just real funny
yeah,
making me laugh.
Yeah.
And then, there's a donation page, and we would love if you're just passionate about this. You can't make it. You don't have anything where you'd want us to shout you out. You can make a donation. Even the smallest bit helps so much. So there's always that option. And then, as silly as it says, shout us out on social media. If you have a local queer paper that does events, let us know so we can put an ad in there. If there's like a podcast you love that's super queer that would run up an ad, let us know. Like, just give us places where we can share this is happening.
That's an awesome
And
idea.
again, come because we have some really awesome.
But
guests
yeah,
coming
you guys
this
want
year.
some sneak peeks of stuff that might
Oh,
happen?
yes.
Don't we have virtual tickets too for those who can't make it?
We do.
Yeah, we
But-
also have a $10
and if
virtual
you
ticket.
We have
right,
virtual
and if
tickets,
you
yeah.
can't come, we do have virtual tickets. So you can see all the panels. You can't come to the party, but you can see all the panels and get all the knowledge and
Mhm.
that way.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna be in charge for a second.
Go
All
for
right,
it, Mom.
Kelsey, then Jamie, then I will say our favorite thing we're looking forward to at this year's readout that we have
Okay.
planned so far. Like your number one thing you're most looking forward to. So Kelsey, you're gonna start, then Jamie, then I'll wrap us up.
Okay, well, I'm going to save one of them because I feel like you should talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna say we're having a VIP party for the first time. So that will be on Saturday night. And we have VIP tickets available. If you get a VIP ticket to the whole festival, it's $150. You also are invited to the party. And all of our authors and participants will be invited, of course, and they will be there, and it'll just be a great hang for the evening.
Jeremy and I will be there.
Yes, you will.
Probably
I didn't know
Jamie.
about it, but I'm already in. I'm like, yep.
Yes, you will be.
We'll be
So
dancing.
that is probably my, I think my big one. And I'm going to talk more about guests in a second, but I'm going to let Jamie go first, and then we'll talk about some of the awesome guests we have coming.
Oh, yes.
So like some of the panels we've come up with, this is my second year working on the panel list, and there's just some cool topics. We are doing a cinnamon rolls panel, which is
I'll wear my shirt.
gonna be tons of fun.
Shirts.
I'm wearing my shirt.
Yeah, we've got a couple romantasy panels. We've got a couple just other fun stuff. So just the day to day, sitting and listening to cool people talk about cool shit. We've got some cool people coming to talk about cool shit.
I love
And
that.
so yeah.
Put that on a
And again,
t-shirt.
the biggest thing I want to talk about is the thing I'm going to let Megan talk about because she's in charge of that one.
And before we get into the super cool part, I'm going to piggyback real fast. The panels this year that we've come up with are ostensibly really cool, but also you'll notice that when we release the schedule, we don't actually have a purely trans panel this year or a pure BIPOC panel this year. The idea was to make sure that they were threaded through every single panel.
Love that.
I love that.
We don't even have any genre-specific panels. We have a couple that obviously lean more towards romance or more towards what have you, but every panel is designed so that we can have a nice mixture of authors and participants. Because I feel like we typically get the same, you get a romance panel and then I talk to you about tropes, and we get a historical fiction panel and that's all it is. And so we're really trying to make sure that we get some interesting things this year. And your cat is hilarious. I am
Love your cat, JJ.
She has
JJ, I
decided
love
she's
your
going to
cat.
chew on the microphone. Jeremy, that is new. Vouch for me. That is new. I was
Well, she's never
unprepared.
done this before. I've never seen her so activated. And Miss Mama, that microphone is $200, and we're going to have to put you to work on the streets to replace it. you are destroying the windscreen. That's what the phone is. It's a windscreen. What are you doing? I've been hearing. I was because I'm in my new apartment, and so I'm like, is that me? I've just been hearing rubbing, and it's just Mama.
It's her.
She is rubbing against anyway. I love her. She is wild.
Wednesday's killing me, you guys.
She's like, this is my season.
I think she's a saboteur.
Yeah.
I mean, you did name your cat Wednesday, so
was
I
my
don't know
fault.
what you
I don't know about readout. What I think Wednesday's
saying
saying is hey, I'm coming to this one, right? I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
She's like, come on.
This sounds awesome.
I'm very sorry.
All right, Megan, go for it.
Okay, so I'm really excited about both of our evening events this year. The first one on Friday night, we're doing something I think is really, really cool. So, as previously established, we are a bunch of nerds. And so we are going to do an actual play of a tabletop role-playing game called Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Oh.
And and the premise of the game is that we're taking really popular Sapphic cinnamon rolls all throughout literature, and we're having them magically brought to the island of Sapphos, which is unfortunately in an eternal winter because they have an ice queen at the center of it.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then they're going to have to these legendary cinnamon rolls are coming to train our local potential cinnamon roll to thaw the heart of the evil queen.
This is too good. That's incredible.
But the best part about it is the panel, the people who are going to perform are sick. So
One
They
of
have
them is in
Quinn.
this room. Well, actually, 3 of them are in
One
this
of them
room.
is in fact sick. Kurt.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Yeah, one of them is sick.
So Quinn is gonna be on the panel.
Oh, I can't wait. And for
Lindsay
anyone who doesn't
Dorcas.
know, a cinnamon roll is
Yeah. Shout out.
simply defined as like the romantic foil of an ice cream,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Exactly. It's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
Lindsay Dorcas is gonna do it. Yeah, Bailey. What's Bailey's last name? I
Carr.
always
Bailey
forget.
Carr.
Yeah, Bailey Carr.
In the car.
And then Bryce Oakley.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Not wait.
Will
And
she
our
be in
own
a bear
Lindsay
costume?
Rose.
I honestly, if she's not, we
We gotta do
genuinely
some
messed up.
costumes.
I should just
We
call her. I should just
genuinely
add her to
messed
this
up.
call and ask her.
Then Livia Martinez, who's a new author.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
delightful.
debut
She
author.
rules. Our own Jamie Rose will be playing the part of the cinnamon roll in training.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna game master the thing. So
That's gonna be really cool. Oh, I
I'm
can't
really
wait to watch
excited
that.
about it. Yeah. So and it's
Excited.
Making point of reference, when you game master Thirsty Sword Lesbians, you're called the Gay Master.
I'm
Come
the
on.
game master.
You're the Gay
I am
I'm
Master.
gonna have
the
to
game
change my
master.
It's in
graphic
the
now.
it's
Yeah.
in the rules. It's in the
It
rule
is in
book.
the rule
You're
book.
called
It
the
is in
Gay
the rule
Master.
book. I am the game master.
That's amazing.
Um,
And I just changed
and
the graphic on Canva
Perfect.
as you said it.
Excellent. And then the other evening event, and I don't even know if y'all know
Multitask.
this, but the other evening event is on Saturday. We're going to be having Yappin Live. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wait, JJ, did
Yeah.
you know?
No.
No, where this is a live me telling
We
y'all.
just
We
found
decided
out.
that it would be the
Yeah.
best evening event would be to have Yappin Live.
Oh, that's so
Mhm.
exciting.
Really?
No
That's
pressure.
Yes.
kind.
I mean, yeah, no
Oh.
pressure.
Oh, we're gonna be
No pressure at
unhinged.
all.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm already playing
Me-
in the drinking game.
Already.
So many.
Oh,
Like an
yes.
independent
All
Yeah,
that
I
like
got
maximum
plans.
level stimuli.
Can you get
and
taxidermy through
together-
security?
I'll
I
work
own the
with her.
security. We're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's also Florida. Just go to an antique
yeah.
shop, get some taxidermy.
But
It'll be
yeah,
fine.
and
We need
We
a
need a
I think
gator.
we're gonna have to get a taxidermy bear, I think.
for
Just
sure.
a little one.
But I just and what I'm really excited about in both of these events is one, just doing something completely different than what's happened in previous readouts, but also like previous festivals of the
Events.
sort. But two, they feel so very queer. It's just so gay.
I love it.
And I am genuinely wanting this to be just so fun and so kind and so queer.
Work.
And Thirsty Sword Lesbians, flirting is a mechanic.
It's a
Flirting
mechanic.
is a game action.
It's a game action.
Yeah, you roll to see how well you flirt.
Well,
Yeah.
I know how well I flirt.
And then you
Jamie.
have
Come
to
on.
act it out.
Mhm.
Come on, JJ.
Well,
I'm excited about
Yeah.
this.
you've never flirted with me, JJ, so I don't know, actually.
Absolutely flirted with
I
you,
disagree. Actually, I think I've seen JJ flirt with
which
you.
makes me think perhaps my flirt game sucks, and I did not know
I'm
it.
gonna
But
let
I'm
you know
also
that it
completely,
is
I'm
not.
also very oblivious.
It's Jamie's fault, and I'm gonna
It's-
say
no,
that
it's me.
as
It's me.
knowing
It's me.
Jamie as one of my best friends on the planet. I will watch her get hit on. I will be standing next to her, being like, "Damn, this girl is throwing down some game on Jamie," and then the girl walk away, and Jamie be like, "She was so kind."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, Jamie,
Well,
she was
no,
really."
at
Incorrect.
GCLS, I texted our group chat. I was like, so everyone's been saying this. Are people flirting with me? Like, it was legit. And y'all were like, yeah, that's
Yes.
flirting. I'm like,
Yes,
Okay,
that's
cool.
what flirting is.
I can flirt more aggressively, Jamie. Don't you worry. There are settings. I can go into
Mhm.
like a
Bring
higher
it.
gear.
bring it, is all I got to say.
I have no radar. Like as I tell everyone, I'm like, I just
I don't
assume
either, honey.
everybody thinks of me like their elbow. Like you love your elbow, it's functioning, it does good work for you, but the only time when you're not thinking when you are thinking about it is when it's broken. And so I am just everyone's
Jeremy,
elbow.
That is
Some
the
people are like,
wrongest thing.
"You're
you've
Jeremy,
ever
what are you
said.
talking
That is
about?
I
incorrect.
like you." I'm like, "What?"
That was
I'm
No.
aggressively wrong.
so bad.
No, yeah,
Aggressively
just no.
wrong.
So
I
bad.
have
It's okay.
no, it just goes
Wow.
completely.
Okay, so I have some
completely
new
over.
rules for ReadOUT. We'll talk about 'em later.
Perfect. Perfect.
I can't wait. Honestly, you guys, this sounds so exciting.
Mhm.
I literally cannot wait.
I don't know. I've been marinating on what you all have shared, especially about like making this festival happen in a red state. And I think and, also going all the way back to July and the ending of your speech, Jamie, I think the thing that is hard in our community, sorry to bring the vibes way down, but is when I think we all feel desperate in this moment, and we know the power of our dollar, right? We know, like, "Okay, I'm gonna boycott this brand, I'm not gonna shop here, I'm not" because I feel powerless in this moment, and I know that my money can do something and make me feel like I have agency, right, and control in a time that feels out of control. And I think that it can be painful to hear, like, especially from people in our own community, that I don't wanna go to this thing because I don't wanna give my money to a red state, I don't want my gay dollars to go there. And I think what was discussed today, and I think all of us can be advocates like Jamie was as well with her speech, to change the narrative on that. Because when we don't recognize who we are punishing by not
Yes,
showing up.
absolutely.
And we don't acknowledge the fact that our presence could save a single life or change a direction, and that our LGBTQ community, our queer siblings, most especially like our trans siblings, are in those spaces and in those states and need us more than ever before. And so I think it invites us to reframe that vision of or that advocacy that we are so and activism that we're so desperate for. We are giving money to the folks that you mentioned, Jamie, like the queer bookstores and the little crochet shops and the artisans that are gonna be present at GCLS and that are gonna be, partnered at ReadOut. And
Mhm,
so I think we have to start reframing how we spend our gay dollars
mhm.
and not leaving our siblings behind.
I I think that something that everyone should think about also is when you travel anywhere, not just in a red state, anywhere, if that's something that you are really concerned about in terms of where you spend a dollar and you mean that truthfully, you should be looking at the LGBTQ small business, like, list in everywhere you visit. I know that for a fact that Gulfport has one. You can very easily say, "Hey, this hotel, this restaurant, this
Mhm,
Mhm,
store, this," and you should really be doing that everywhere
mhm,
because
Yeah.
as
mhm.
places, particularly in red states, start to attempt to silence and punish and then not show up,
mhm.
the stores that are going to be in trouble, the restaurants that are gonna be in trouble are the queer-owned
Yep.
Exactly.
Yes.
spaces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
And a really good
and
weekend at one of those places in February can mean they survive until May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
mhm. Absolutely, and I do wanna call out one other organization in St. Pete, they are not a nonprofit, they are a mutual aid organization, and they are wonderful, it's
Yeah.
called Queer Expressions. They are a volunteer-run organization, that really focuses on, like, multi-generational queer and trans community spaces in Florida. They, I think, created their first permanent location last year, and they just run free programming, but like I said, they're a mutual aid, they're wonderful, so, if you have money to support, a local organization, I would very much suggest looking into them.
And we'll provide, links for all of this.
I mean, you're talking about not coming to a state because of who's in charge of it. If you think about it, like, if you wanna just look at the numbers, you know, you're paying a tax. You're paying a hotel tax of, like, 3%. Okay, cool, wonderful. But look how much you're also giving that hotel owner. You're paying a 7% sales tax at a queer bookstore, but you're giving 100% of the money to the queer bookstore who needs it, who isn't sure if they're gonna make it a month make it for much longer if we don't keep showing up. So, like, you can talk about voting with your money, but you really and if that's how you wanna go, fine, but you really need to pay attention and have an intentionality behind it rather than just a blanket statement so you feel good.
Yes.
Well, and
Abs
to Quinn's point, I yeah, I don't wanna give my gay dollars to whoever. Okay, but what about your gay hope?
Yeah.
Like, when you come to a thing like this, you have no idea the amount of hope you're giving to a place like Florida, and that isn't true when you go to an event in New York. It's just not.
Yeah.
But and I promise you, if you come to ReadOUT, you will leave feeling better about the world than when you arrive. I can't
Oh.
make a lot of promises, but I can promise you this.
Yep.
You will feel better about your queerness and you will feel better about the world because you will remember that it seems so bad right now, but it is so mostly good. Most people, most of the time, are doing their very best. And in a place like ReadOUT, you feel that, the hope of people striving to make the world better.
You will leave buzzing. You absolutely will.
You will hold on. I mean, all these months later, JJ and I still talk about our experiences there. We still talk about the moments that stayed in our memory and the memories that we go back to get through the really hard days.
Mm-hmm.
And I revisit them all the time because the days are really hard.
Mhm.
But those moments, those festivals, what the spaces that you three are creating with such, again, vision, intentionality, heart, soul, and just love for this community fills my cup still daily. And
Absolutely.
it's rare and special, and we owe you just a debt of gratitude for letting us be a part of it.
That
Thank
is
you for letting us.
that is very sweet. I really just wanted to create a place to hang out with my friends. So
Oh yeah.
glad that worked.
Mission accomplished.
We take care of ourselves,
There we
baby.
go.
That's
right.
right. And then you'll get to come watch us record Yappin'
Yappin'
Live.
Live,
I
baby!
can't wait about it.
What
I'm really
an
excited.
honor.
I already couldn't wait, and I've had my Airbnb booked for many months,
Same.
an embarrassing number
Same.
of months, because it's thinking about being back together with y'all, with new friends, with readers, with other authors, with other narrators, with the community at large, and I think that is something ReadOUT absolutely is. It is community, full stop. And join the community. The more the merrier. We
Mhm.
want to
Up to
fill each
200.
other with that light, and walk away super jazzed. I mean,
Hell
like
yeah.
we did, and with the energy, like Jeremy said, to carry on. And that's absolutely what we need. Jamie, Macon, Kelsey, anything you want to plug or anything you want to share with us? We'll share you guys' Instagram handles if that's your preference. Tell us what you're doing, what you're working on.
J.J. Arias just dropped a new book today. That's the day that
Yes,
we're
I
recording.
almost
Yeah.
said in the intro. Happy
That's
That's a
right.
thing.
JJ,
Yes.
Ms. Arias.
I think
If
that's
you're
where we're starting
nasty.
out. Miss Arias.
Yeah,
Miss
seriously.
Arias is out here
Yes,
making
blood from
me
the marrow. Thank you very much.
genuinely pissed.
Genuinely
I-
pissed. That was
yeah.
so southern.
Like I pulled a book down to read, and now I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to read that one.
Well,
You got.
see, now I'm scared because I'm like right in the middle of a nice, sweet Bryce Oakley romance.
Ooh, which one?
I have All In. I have the arc for All In, which is not. Which, to be fair, it's super angsty.
Hey,
It's
can
not
I tell
actually
you something?
sweet.
Nice.
It's
Can I
very
tell you
angsty, but it's
something? And I
wonderful.
mean it just as much as I meant it earlier to JJ. Fuck you.
The F-bomb is coming.
That's the same amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
Okay,
That's fair.
it's-
That's absolutely fair.
Look,
Mhm.
it's
Nope.
it's lovely. It's not sweet. It's actually very angsty, but that's not the point.
She loves an angst. I'm going to have a word with
Don't we
her.
all? Don't we
Yeah.
all?
So
No.
I did
Yeah.
want to shout that out.
Well, thank you.
Well, and Macon, you have an audiobook.
yeah.
You have
Lindsay-
your audiobook coming out.
Lindsay Dorcas did an incredible job reading, acting. I don't know. She did an incredible job bringing
Oh.
the flight risk to life. It's so good.
When's it out? Do you have a
And-
date?
I don't have an exact date because I'm going through Author Republic. And so their system's a little bit different, but it's been approved everywhere. So it'll start showing up hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But closer to time when it's going to start populating, they'll let me know.
Okay.
But sooner rather than later.
I cannot.
Could not be more
wait.
excited.
But I'm just saying, like,
Come on, Rogue Peach.
Oh, let's
Mhm.
do it. But Lindsay did an excellent job. I cried. I didn't even listen to all of it. I just listened to certain parts of it. And then there was a part where it sounded so much like the voice in my head that I genuinely started crying.
That's
I
amazing.
love that. That's a little bit of magic.
She did, yeah. She's brilliant. So if you haven't read Flight Risk and you were waiting for it to come out an audiobook for the last 2 years,
Now's your time.
you're welcome.
Yay.
And I would like to shout out both Jeremy and Kelsey especially Kelsey, who was like, "Hey, man, that's a good idea, right?" And I was like, "I don't know. People don't like it that much." And she was like, "Hey, maybe you're wrong about that."
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Kelsey
I'm
was right.
Megan's official PR person because
Kelsey's
she,
doing
refu-
it.
she
She's doing the heavy
refuses to
lifting.
she refuses to sell her own books. So I just keep yelling at her until she does.
You seem to acquire a lot of those.
I love you, all of you indie authors, so much. You're my friends. I have so much love in my heart for you, but so many of you are so bad
We're
at
like,
selling your own
we
books.
made a thing, whatever. I don't know.
I hope someone likes it.
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing.
Got it. Just add it to the list.
The brilliant thing about being an indie author is you've had your ego kicked out of you by the time you come to selling a book. That at that point you're like, look, please take this from me.
Or not, whatever. I don't know.
Whatever,
Like,
it's
that's
fine. Because here's the
You don't
deal.
have to.
I'm going to make another one. Whatever you do isn't really going to impact whether I'm making another one at this point. So I hope you like it.
Megan has forgotten her books,
Hey,
not once, but at
hey.
2 separate conventions.
Hey, guess what?
Tax write-off to
I
loss.
think I would have sold that many. So
That's
really,
not
You
true.
would have.
probably
Right.
saved
My
money.
goodness, exactly
I
right
probably
here.
saved money on shipping if we think about it. If we're thinking
no,
about
no.
it
You
like
really
that's
did
true.
bring the
No,
books
no, we're
with you.
not letting you get away with that. No,
I'm
no.
gonna turn off your microphone.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to
Anyways.
share, Jamie? Did you share
Yeah,
something?
what are you doing into?
So like my Quinn mentioned earlier, my first short story is out in the By Her Sword Sapphic
Gorgeous.
romance
My God,
anthology.
look at you having
Look,
the
she has a
book.
prop. I'm so proud of you.
Wow.
She's not
wow,
fucking
you made
around.
I was
JJ and I
right
look
here.
like
I was
ass.
right.
We're like,
That was not intentional. If that's how you think you appear, that's on you. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Somebody could have not held up the book. Somebody saw what happened
Made
the
us
first
look
2
bad.
times and made a choice.
someone could have looked bad at
Anyway.
the rest of her friends, but that's fine.
But it's under my author name, Rose Goodwin. So just doing that. I also want to shout out the artists that we got for all the graphics for ReadOUT this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's
Woo!
important. I think that's very important, actually.
My amazing
know her?
wife did the graphic. Yeah, it's my wife. Yeah.
My wife?
So
My way.
Yeah.
This is my wife.
Mhm. So her Instagram handle. Oh, there it is.
We'll
There
share
it
that too.
is. Yeah. Her Instagram handle is Hillbilly Hipster 84. She does a lot of queer art. So yeah, give her some love.
Your pen name has a Instagram too. Can we share that too, Jamie? Is that
Absolutely. It's Rose Goodwin Writes. But yeah, feel free to share that. Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
So I am working on Jamie Clevenger's One Night in Tahoe. I'm very, very excited. Yeah, and then there's like some of my authors have got some big news coming, and I think I'll be along the ride for them maybe if they want to keep working with me. I'm just excited for everybody. Everybody's doing so well. And big things are happening, and lots of really, really cool projects that I'm like privy to, but I can't say like because we're friends, so they've told me about. But it's a busy time.
I'm trying to write a second book. I want to announce this. It's going bad. Maybe we only need one. Maybe what we only needed was one.
We'll get there.
No,
We'll get there.
No.
We will
Megan,
get there.
it's great now.
No.
You rewrote like half of it, and now you're in a much better place. It sounded
There
great
you
when
go.
we talked about it this morning.
There you go.
Yeah, but then I worked on it for 2 hours. Kelsey?
That's just fatigue. You're good. You're gonna be fine.
Isn't that just like the natural writing process?
Anyways,
You hate
yes.
everything.
Yes.
I just want everybody to get used to the idea.
You hate it the whole time, and then
Mhm.
you look at
Mhm.
it way
Mhm.
later, and you go, "Oh, it's not bad. I'm all right."
How many
No, it
times,
could have been worse.
okay, how many times have you been like,
Hated.
oh
This is
my
the
God,
worst
the
thing I've ever
vampire
written.
thruple book, the vampire thruple book,
Yep.
and it's out, and then
Yep.
we are feral for it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's just the
So
part. That's
your
just
judgment
runs
for
the
your
break.
own writing is garbage.
I
And
do
that
remember
is-
the first time you mentioned that book to me. You were like, so what do you think would be the
you
response?
read?
Would you read a thruple? But wait, with
But
vampires.
wait, there's more.
And I was like, yep.
I mean,
Yep.
you
So
did
far,
ask
so good.
Kelsey, and yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the fair thing to say, though, with a J.J. Arias book in general is, would you read? And you could probably stop it, and most
Yep.
people would be like, yeah, actually, it'd be fine.
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact.
Guys,
If JJ ever came to me and asked me that question, would you read? I'm like,
You can stop now.
it's you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've already
I don't
done
need
it.
a summary,
Yes.
thank
Are we
you.
talking
Yes,
emails,
it's you.
grocery
Yes,
lists?
you.
Steph
Well, I
will
want to
send
read
your
a
guys
JJ Arias
checks.
grocery list.
Good thing I don't do groceries. And so there's only
Wow.
Uncrustables on it. It's fine.
The
There's nothing
people's
else.
wife.
The
People's
people's wife
wife.
does the
People's
groceries.
wife right
She
there.
is
There
fully
we go.
really working,
Yeah.
y'all.
There we
And
go.
so I won't give her
Look,
any
everyone
more.
needs a wife. I am a big proponent. My
Yeah.
wife
Yeah.
is basically
Yeah.
90% of everything. She's far more organized than I am. However, I am the prime grocery shopper in the family.
Okay, fair. Someone's got to do it.
That's
Can confirm. Usually I'm yapping with Kelsey on the phone when she's
She's at the
grocery
grocery store.
shopping. We have had many grocery talks.
Well,
And
it's a great time.
It's a great time. It's a great time.
This has been a great time. Thank you guys
Thank you
It
guys.
so
has.
much.
It has.
Thank you for
We
being
really
with us.
appreciate you giving us all of your time and your beautiful insight and encouraging words. I feel excited and motivated and ready to. I'm going to just start driving in Gulfport right now. And I'll just wait for you guys there.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Don't live that far. I think you'll beat us by a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I like to get places really early. I'm like
Yeah.
anti-Cuban time, childhood
Mhm.
drama. I don't want to talk about it.
The holiday season. It's February tomorrow. Let's go.
It's February tomorrow. Let's just
yeah,
go.
Yeah. There
We
go.
don't need a new year. We don't need any
Nope.
of the holidays in December.
Let's rock.
So
Hey,
Yeah, let's
And
go.
then
I'm so over
you're
this year,
gonna miss
guys.
the most
Like,
important.
I'm fine skipping them.
If
Let's
we
just
skip
go.
December, we're gonna skip the most important holiday of the year, which is my birthday.
But
So
we can't do that.
So
All right.
only
we can,
December
yeah.
We'll
There
sojourn
we
into
go.
your birthday and
Okay.
then right back out.
Then
There
We'll
we
just
go.
rock like
There
a
we go.
solid weekend and then skip.
Mhm. That's what I'm good for. A solid weekend.
Hey, thanks, all the Yappin guys. If you're still here at the end of this, you're
Yeah.
the real ones.
You
you
For real.
guys.
For real.
you guys are the real deal. You're the real yappers.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so
All right.
much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
y'all.
This was
Thank
really fun.
you.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
Love you.